My name is Lena and I'm 26 years old. I am single, working full time, and just trying to live a peaceful life. I went through a really tough breakup about a year ago, and I have been doing everything I can to keep that chapter closed. But recently, my oldest sister, Haley, who is 29 and currently 7 months pregnant, decided it was a good idea to play matchmaker. Not just any matchmaker. She tried to reunite me with my toxic ex boyfriend, Adam, all because she ran into him at the hospital where he works. Let me give you a little background on Adam. He's 30 now, and we were together for a little over 2 years. He's a doctor, charming to most people, and really good at pretending to be the perfect guy. But behind closed doors, he was a completely different person, controlling, emotionally manipulative, and made everything about himself. If I cried, he would call me dramatic. If I disagreed with him, he'd guilt trip me or give me the silent treatment for days. It was exhausting. It took me a long time to get out of that relationship and even longer to heal after it ended. I finally broke up with him last year when I realized that being alone was 1,000 times better than being with someone who made me feel small every single day. I blocked him everywhere, deleted his number, and asked mutual friends not to mention him to me. I was done. Things were going fine until a few weeks ago when Haley mentioned she had gone to a hospital for a routine checkup and bumped into Adam. She had no idea he worked there. She said he was super kind, offered to help her with anything she needed, and even gave her his number in case she needed direct contact in case of emergencies. At first, I did not think much of it. I assumed she'd just thank him and move on. But I was wrong. Over the next few days, Haley kept bringing Adam up in casual conversation. At first, it was just little comments like, he seemed different, or he was really polite and helpful. But then it started getting weird. She said things like, I think he still cares about you, and maybe people do change, you know. I did not respond much. I did not want to go down that road again. I just told her I had no interest in talking to him and that she should keep her distance too. But Haley had other plans. One day, out of nowhere, she told me that she had asked Adam about some of her pregnancy symptoms and he gave her some advice. Then she told me that he offered to help her with appointments and make sure she got the best care through the hospital. That's when she dropped the big bomb. She said if I got back together with Adam, she could save so much money on medical expenses because he'd be able to pull some strings for her. I was stunned. My own sister wanted me to get back with a guy who emotionally wrecked me just so she could get better hospital treatment while pregnant. I could not even believe what I was hearing. She said it like it was the most logical thing in the world, like sacrificing my peace of mind and mental health for her pregnancy bills was totally normal. I reminded her that Adam was the reason I spent months crying alone in my apartment, doubting myself and feeling worthless. I told her that he was manipulative and toxic, and nothing he said or did now would change that. But she brushed it off like I was being overly dramatic. She said I was still bitter and that people grow up. She even added that I should think about it practically, not emotionally. The thing is, Haley and I were never the same kind of person. She's always been more practical and a little selfish, to be honest. I love her, but she tends to think about what benefits her first and how to make things easier for herself. She's also struggling financially now because the baby's father left when she told him she was pregnant. She's living with our parents, working part time, and trying to figure out how she's going to manage everything. Still, I did not think she would stoop this low, trying to push me back into a relationship with someone abusive just because it could make things more convenient for her. She even started texting me screenshots of her conversations with Adam. where he talked about how he regretted how things ended with me and how he wanted to make it right. She said she thought he was being sincere and that I should at least meet him once. I was furious. But more than that, I felt deeply disappointed. Haley was not thinking about me. She was thinking about hospital bills, baby supplies, and shortcuts. It got worse. One weekend, she showed up at my place, uninvited, saying she needed to talk. She was all emotional, saying how hard everything had been for her and how much she was struggling. She said that Adam had already helped her get an appointment sooner than she normally would have, and that he even offered to help cover some lab fees if she needed. Then she casually said, "Just imagine what more he could do if you two got back together." I could not believe she was seriously saying that. Like I was some bargaining chip. Like my trauma and pain from that relationship did not matter at all if it meant a few $100s in savings for her. I told her again very clearly that I was not interested, that Adam was out of my life for a reason and that she needed to stop bringing him up. She got defensive, said I was being selfish, said I had no idea what it was like to be pregnant and scared and broke. I told her she had every right to be scared and broke, but it did not give her the right to ask me to ruin my life again for her benefit. That shut her up, at least for a while. Soon enough, my mom started hinting that I should maybe forgive Haley and just talk to Adam once. I could not believe it. I told her that Adam was never an option, that it was not about forgiveness. It was about respecting boundaries. She gave me that tired line about how families should stick together and how Haley was just scared and desperate. I told her that being scared and desperate does not justify manipulating people. It does not excuse treating me like a pawn. Still, Haley's little guilt campaign kept going. She told everyone who would listen that I did not care about her or the baby. She made herself look like a poor, abandoned pregnant woman, while I was the cold, stubborn sister who could not let go of the past. What made it worse was that people actually started believing her. I started getting weird messages from extended family members. One cousin I hadn't spoken to in months asked why I was not there for Haley. An aunt said she was surprised at how heartless I was acting. It was surreal, like Haley had written a fake version of our lives and mailed it out as a newsletter. No one wanted to hear my side. They just believed the one with the baby bump. And then came the breaking point. A few days ago, Haley showed up at my apartment without warning. She had tears in her eyes, holding her belly like she was trying to play every emotional card in the book. I did not even want to open the door, but I did because despite everything, part of me still cared. She started going off about how I was being selfish, how I did not understand how hard pregnancy was, and how she just wanted what was best for everyone, including me. She said Adam was ready to prove himself and that this was my chance to fix everything. That's when I snapped. I told her exactly what I thought. I told her she was not thinking about me at all, only about herself. I told her that trying to use me to get favors from a man who emotionally abused me was disgusting. I told her that she did not care about my well-being, only about how I could be useful to her. And then I said the one thing that made her freeze. I told her that because of her disgusting behavior, her child was going to grow up without an aunt. It was not planned. It was not a dramatic line. I thought about it ahead of time. It just came out. But it was the truth. I meant it. I did not want anything to do with someone who could treat me like I was disposable just because her life got hard. I was not going to pretend to be a supportive sister while she kept choosing convenience over compassion. She stared at me like I had slapped her. Then she turned around and walked away. No more yelling, no more crying, just silence. Since then, she has not tried to contact me again, but our mom did. She called and said Haley was devastated. that she'd been crying nonstop, that she felt betrayed by me. I told her I did not care. I said I had done enough for Haley over the years, and this time I was not going to break myself to make her feel better. My mom said I was being too harsh. I said I was finally protecting myself. And then came the texts from Haley's friends, from mutual acquaintances, even from someone she used to work with. All of them are saying some version of the same thing. You should not punish a child for the mother's mistakes. As if I was somehow hurting her unborn baby by choosing not to be part of their lives. As if I owed that baby something just because we shared DNA. Let me be clear. I have nothing against the baby. I hope the baby grows up happy and safe and loved. But I am not going to play pretend and be the fun aunt when I know the mother does not respect me. I'm not going to smile and hand out presents while biting my tongue for years just to keep the peace. I am not built for fake family dynamics. I will not lie to myself and say it's okay, because it's not. What hurts most is that this did not have to happen. I would have been there for Haley. I would have supported her through the pregnancy, helped her shop for baby clothes, gone to appointments with her, and even held her hand during labor if she needed. But she burned all of that down the moment she chose to weaponize my trauma for her benefit. The moment she tried to shove me back into a relationship with a man who made my life hell just because it made her life easier. She gambled with our relationship. She thought I would bend like I always had. She thought I would suck it up because that's what family does. But this time, I did not bend. I broke away. And now she's mad because I drew a line she never thought I'd draw. She's mad because I told her the truth. That if she keeps treating people like tools instead of humans, she's going to end up alone. She still thinks I am the one being unreasonable. She thinks I should have just let it go, but I have done that too many times before. I let things go when she borrowed money and never paid it back. I let things go when she took credit for things I did. I let things go when she constantly made everything about herself. But this was the final straw. She tried to rewrite the narrative. She wanted to turn my pain into a discount coupon. She wanted to sell my boundaries for medical perks. And when I refused, she acted like I was the villain. I'm done being the villain in her made-up story. Now everyone's whispering. Some people think I'm cold, and some people say, I will regret this when the baby is born. Maybe I will. Maybe I will not. But I know this. I regret all the times I stayed quiet when I should have stood up for myself. I regret all the moments I let people treat me like an extra in their lives while I gave them the main role in mine. So no, I'm not going to Haley's baby shower. I'm not sending gifts. I'm not showing up at the hospital. I'm not going to pretend like everything's okay when she has not even apologized. I am not punishing the baby. I am protecting myself. That baby has a mother. That mother made her choices, and now I am making mine. And now Haley is mad because I told her the truth, that because of her disgusting behavior, she lost something. She lost someone. She lost me. And it was not an empty threat. It was a boundary. AITA for telling my pregnant sister that her disgusting behavior just made her lose her kid, having an aunt in her life. Update 1. Hey everyone, I'm back with an update that I did not think I'd be writing this soon. Things took a turn I did not expect though. To be honest, maybe I should have seen it coming. A couple of days after she left my apartment in tears, I started getting weird messages. At first it was just a couple of texts from random numbers asking things like, is this my name? Or are you still with Adam? I did not think much of it. Probably spam, maybe some old contact info floating around somewhere. But then one of them sent me a picture. It was a Photoshop picture of me and Adam standing outside the hospital where he works. I was not even wearing the clothes from that day. It was a badly done edit. My head was pasted onto someone else's body. The lighting did not match. It looked like something out of a meme generator. The caption under the image said, "Glad to see you two happy again." I was stunned. It did not take long for me to figure out who had done it. I went straight to Haley's social media, and there it was. A now deleted Instagram story, just a few seconds long, of the same fake photo with a caption that said something like, "Some wounds do heal after all." I was shaking. She was literally trying to create a fake story about me and Adam being back together. I called my best friend right away, trying not to completely lose it. She told me to screenshot everything and save it, which I did. I even printed some of it just in case Haley decided to delete her digital trail and play innocent later. Later that evening, I got a message from one of Haley's old high school friends, someone I have not spoken to in years. She said Haley had told her and a few others that I finally got over my grudge and gave Adam another chance, and that we were all one big happy family again. She even said I would be moving in with Haley for a while to help with the baby after it's born. That was the last straw for me. I called my parents. I told them everything, the photos, the lies. They were quiet. My mom kept asking if I was sure it was Haley. My dad did not say much. He just let out a long sigh and said, "She needs help." Neither of them defended her. Neither of them told me I was wrong this time. I think even they could not deny how unhinged she was being. I ended the call by telling them that I was officially done. I did not want to hear any more excuses. I did not want to be guilt-tripped about not being part of her life or the baby's life. I told them if they wanted a relationship with me, they'd have to stop trying to mediate between us. No more playing the middle. And then came the final desperate move. Haley showed up at my workplace, pregnant belly, mascara tears, and all. She waited until I was about to leave and then cornered me outside the building. She begged me to listen. She said she was scared and overwhelmed and just wanted everything to go back to how it used to be. She said the fake photos were a mistake, that she was just trying to speed things along and thought I'd come around eventually. She said she needed me and that her baby needed me too. I did not yell. I did not cry. I did not even say much. I just told her I was blocking her on everything and that if she ever pulled something like this again, I'd consider legal action. I do not want to, but she's left me no choice. Her obsession with dragging me back into that dark chapter of my life is beyond forgiveness now. It's not just disrespectful, it's dangerous. After that, I went through all my apps and blocked her on everything, changed my privacy settings, and honestly, I'm tired. I feel like I have been emotionally hit by a truck. I have always believed in second chances, but this was not a mistake. This was a series of deliberate, calculated decisions, and I can't forgive that. So yeah, this is where things stand right now. Haley did something desperate. She tried to fake my relationship with Adam and spun a web of lies about me being involved in her life again. And when I did not play along, she showed up in person, crying and pregnant, hoping I'd cave. I did not. I will not. But I still feel a weird sense of grief, not for her, for the relationship we could have had if she'd respected my boundaries, if she had not chosen to lie instead of apologize. Anyway, thanks for reading. I will probably take a break from all this now. Just needed to get it off my chest. Update 2. I did not want to post again this soon, but Haley's gone off the rails in a way that I honestly did not see coming. I knew she was spiraling, but this is next level disturbing. After the last incident where she showed up at my work and tried to cry her way back into my life, I thought that maybe she'd finally get the message. I was clear. I told her I was done, that I was blocking her, and that any further contact would push me towards legal action. But it turns out she did not take that as a warning. She took it as a challenge. It started small again, weird, subtle things. I got a call from a daycare in my neighborhood. They wanted to confirm some information about my upcoming enrollment. When I asked what they meant, they said that I had supposedly inquired about putting my baby nephew on a wait list, and had requested I be listed as a guardian. I had done no such thing. I told them I did not even have a child, let alone a nephew, in my custody. The woman on the phone seemed embarrassed and said someone had filled out the form online, but she would not give more details due to privacy concerns. I knew it was her. Then a few days later, a package showed up at my apartment. No name, no sender, just a cardboard box with baby clothes, a world's best aunt mug, and a photo frame. The frame had a stock photo in it, but taped to the back was a folded note in Haley's handwriting. It said something like, "You will come around. She's going to need you." No signature, just that. It made my skin crawl. What really pushed me over the edge, though, happened this morning. I got a call from the HR department. It was a formal complaint. Someone had contacted them saying I was harassing a vulnerable pregnant woman and threatening her safety and the safety of her unborn child. They would not say who filed it, but the details made it obvious. The complaint included things that were completely made up, saying I had shown up at Haley's apartment in the middle of the night, screaming at her in public, and even made threats about the baby. None of that ever happened. I have not even seen her since the last time she cornered me outside my job. But the way it was written made it sound like I was dangerous and unstable. Luckily, HR is handling it carefully. They have asked me to write a formal response and provide any documentation I have, which I have started doing. I gave them the screenshots, the photos of the box she sent, and even the daycare thing. I hate that I have to go through all this just to prove I'm not some psycho when it's her making up lies and trying to mess with my life like it's a game. I honestly do not know what she's trying to achieve anymore. Is she trying to ruin my career? Is she hoping I will come crawling back just to make it stop? Is she trying to provoke me into doing something so she can flip the narrative and paint herself as the victim? And the worst part is that I know this is not the end. Every time I think she's gone too far, she goes further. Every time I put up a boundary, she tries to jump over it. And now she's targeting my job, trying to paint me as some kind of threat to her and her unborn child. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare that will not end. She has not just made me angry anymore. Now I am scared. Genuinely scared. I do not know what she's capable of next. I have started locking my doors twice. I have installed a camera outside my door just in case she shows up again. I have talked to a lawyer friend about getting a restraining order, and I might have to go through with it. I'm exhausted, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I do not understand how we got here. I do not understand how she's convinced herself this behavior is okay, or what kind of world she's living in where she thinks this will bring me back into her life. I never imagined my own sister would become the person I needed protection from. And yeah, part of me still feels sick about the baby and all of this. That poor kid. They do not even exist yet, and they already are being used like a prop in some twisted play their mom is writing in her head. If she's willing to go this far just to manipulate me, I do not even want to imagine what kind of mental gymnastics she'll use to control that child once they are born. I'm still keeping my distance, still no contact, still not responding to anything she sends. But now I'm documenting everything because it's not just about boundaries anymore. It's about safety, about protecting myself and my job and my peace. I do not know where this is heading, but I have a bad feeling it's going to get worse before it gets better. She's not just being dramatic anymore, she's being dangerous. I just wanted to share this update because I know a few people told me to stay alert and document everything. You were right. I did not think she'd go as far as she has, but here we are. Thanks for the advice. I am doing what I can to protect myself, and I will keep doing that no matter what she tries next. Update 3. I never thought I'd be writing something like this. I kept hoping it would not get worse, but it did. This is the last time I will ever speak about it because I honestly can't deal with it anymore. It's gone too far. A few days ago, I came home from work and found someone sitting on the steps outside my apartment building. It was late. I was tired. I was not expecting anyone. And then I saw her, Haley, holding a baby. I froze. My heart started pounding. For a second, I thought I was hallucinating, but it was real. She looked awful. Pale, messy hair, dark circles, and wearing clothes that looked like she hadn't changed them in days. And in her arms was a tiny newborn wrapped in a blanket. I did not say anything. I did not move. I just stared at her, and she stared right back at me like nothing was wrong, like everything was fine. It was normal to show up uninvited with a literal baby in your arms after months of obsessive behavior, lies, and stalking. I turned around and walked away. I did not go inside. I did not confront her. I did not talk to her. I walked to the end of the block, pulled out my phone, and called the police. I don't know what I expected. Part of me still did not want to believe it was real, but they came. And when they did, Haley did not even act shocked. She just kept saying over and over that she did not know where else to go, that I was the only family left, that she just needed help for a few days. She did not even ask if I wanted to meet the baby. She just assumed she could hand her over like it was nothing, like I'd be waiting for this moment, like we were still sisters. I told the police everything. I showed them the emails, the daycare thing, the HR report, the packages, everything. They talked to her quietly for a long time. I did not hear most of it, but at one point I caught her crying and saying I was turning my back on blood. Eventually they called someone, CPS I think, and she was taken somewhere. I do not know where. I do not want to know. All I know is she's not in front of my building anymore. She does not have access to me, and the baby is safe. Because let me be clear, she was not okay. She was not stable. That baby should not have been alone with her. I saw it in her eyes. I saw it in the way she talked. Something inside her had snapped completely. She thought this was some big redemption arc, that showing up with her child would magically fix everything she'd broken. She really believed the baby would be the bridge between us, that I'd take them in, that I'd suddenly go back to being her sister, that I'd erase everything and start fresh. But there is no starting fresh with someone who can't even admit they were wrong. There's no rebuilding with someone who weaponizes a child to force your hand. There's no relationship with someone who sees your life as something they are entitled to twist. I spent the whole night awake after that. I did not sleep. I didn't eat. I kept looking at the spot where she sat and thinking, how did we get here? And I still do not have the answer. This was someone I grew up with, someone I defended, someone I trusted. And now she's a stranger with a baby making reckless, terrifying decisions based on some twisted stories she made up in her head about what family should be. She did not want my help. She wanted my obedience. She wanted to win. And when I did not give her that, she upped the stakes until it involved an innocent newborn. I don't know what's going to happen to her now. I don't know if she'll get help. I do not know where that baby will end up, but I do know this. I am done. This is not a normal situation. This is scary. This is dangerous, and it's over. I'm pressing charges. I'm getting a restraining order. I am not playing nice anymore. I have already spoken to a lawyer. I am documenting everything. I am switching buildings in the next few weeks and getting a new number. I do not want her to know where I live or how to find me. I don't care if she tells the whole family I'm heartless. I don't care if she sobs about it to anyone who will listen. I do not care if she calls me a monster, because after everything she's done, I am not the villain here. She made a choice, and now I am making mine. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.